think today will be more of a learning experience for all the cardinals, for them to really see what all the others are thinking about. And clearly that's going to affect how they vote. And none of them, some of them probably are still wondering themselves and will allow the ritual to kind of take them through and lead them up to that moment. It's a very prayerful moment. Their ballots are all cast in silence. And those who have been through it before have spoken about the fact that it is an intensely prayerful moment because they find it a little bit not just awe-inspiring, but probably a little, there's a lot of weight on that. The gospel reading this morning at Mass, saying, "It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you." And part of their oath that they'll take today, not just the oath of secrecy, but really an oath of fidelity that implies that if they, in fact, are the one chosen, that they would accept it. And I would venture to guess that many of them probably would rather not have to make that decision.
Really? We have been talking about it in sometimes political terms, as if everybody wants to be Pope, and you enter the Sistine Chapel with the goal of hoping to emerge as Pope, but you seem to be framing it as might be not the choice of most cardinals.
I would imagine not. You know, when we are called to priesthood, it's not a decision that we make, and we make our promise of obedience to our bishop to be sent where the bishop wants to send us, to whatever parish or whatever ministry we're sent to. And without any real ambition. So this is a moment that really runs countercultural to the whole life of a priest.
Let me bring in Father Beck, if I may. We hear the Monsignor talk about it as sort of a learning opportunity today. So how does exactly that work? We'll see the fumata, which is what they've been calling, what we refer to as the smoke, come out. And then what happens from there that informs the learning experience for the next day and days ahead?
Well, again, probably, as Monsignor said, we won't have an election today. The first vote is usually a cast everything vote. Some vote for their friends. They just want to get a feel of where the others are, continuing to pray for the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And then when there is no election, they will break. They go back and have a dinner. So, you know, some people think that because it's the conclave, they never talk. But of course, they go back to St. Martha's. They have a dinner. There's some private meetings, even that some have to talk about, what do you think about the vote today? And you know, what do you think about maybe that candidate? So some of that does occur, but keep in mind, just because people talk about a candidate does not mean that the Holy Spirit is not moving in that room and with those men. When former Pope Benedict was asked about, does the Holy Spirit pick the Pope? He said, well, I wouldn't say that. I would say that the Holy Spirit moves in us, in the room, and hopefully brings us to the best person for this position.